Hey everyone, Principal Hennig here. Welcome to Skyline Student Spotlight episode 6. Today we have David Aoyama, who is going to introduce himself and talk a little bit about him being a Skyline student, some of the things that he's interested in. So David, welcome to our Student Spotlight series. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, not only at Skyline, things you like to do at Skyline, but things you like to do at Skyline as well.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, Mr. Henning. I'm very thankful to be here. Like you said, I'm David Aoyama. I'm currently a junior here at Skyline High School. Some things about me, I'm really into like fitness and sports and working out. So I take a lot of interest into like watching the NFL. Obviously, a little disappointed in the season, but I still enjoyed watching it, and also college football as well, and just all sports. And along with watching sports, I love playing sports. I'm part of the Skyline varsity football team, and we're still hoping for a season. Along with that, I also spend a lot of my free time in the gym or on a field working out, usually with friends, but obviously with COVID restrictions, that's been limited. But I'm still trying to get as much work in as possible. For involvement in school, I'm in a few clubs. For example, class council. That's where I get class involvement, and I talk with the students and we figure out fundraisers, which I find really fun and interesting. A few other clubs I do: Project Agape, TVC, and A-List. A-List is like an outside club, but these three clubs all surround community involvement, where we're just reaching out to the community, volunteering in ways that we can to help out, especially during COVID, trying to alleviate stress. And also, probably my favorite club is DECA. I just love it. Obviously, it's a little different with the online format, but being able to engage in marketing and to work with my peers to practice role plays, to better prepare ourselves for the future, I find it very helpful. And throughout all these clubs and sports, I've just gained a lot of life lesson skills that I feel like have bettered me as a person and a student in all aspects of my life.
You are an extremely busy person, but I love how you talked about like working out and lifting weights and that physical care that you take care, and that's kind of a self-care piece. I bet you after being on Zoom for so long every day and going to classes, it's got to be nice to just go work out and do some push-ups and lift some weights, right?
Oh, definitely. Obviously, self-care is very important. Spending so many hours in front of a screen. Like for me, if I luckily I have a friend who has a at-home gym, and he lets us like reserve our own times. So if I can get a time, I get to go, and it helps me take my mind off from obviously finals and school. Or now as the weather, it's not super rainy. If it's not super rainy, I try to, go on walks with either my family or like my neighborhood friends, and just catch up. So I think it's really nice to be able to take a mental break outside. Plus, it allows you to just leave your house for a bit instead of just staying cooped up all the time.
I got you. Nice work on that. Well, the last 9 months has been really difficult. Lots of change in all of our lives. What's something you've learned about yourself through this, pandemic, remote emergency closure of school, remote teaching and learning? What's something you've learned about yourself?
Something I learned about myself is how I really, really value quality time. I never really thought about that because I would see all my friends every day at school and be able to, just do whatever I wanted, in the sense that like I could go work out whenever I wanted. I could go, play sports whenever I wanted. But definitely with all the closures, I definitely realized that I need to cherish those times more, whether it's just working on a project with a friend, that person to person interaction, or it's working out, trying to make the most out of the time that I do have. I think that's something I value a lot more now that I went through COVID.
Well said. I love what you just said right there. I think that's a good lesson for all of us to really value the time that we have in terms of doing stuff and taking advantage of that time that we have. So well said on that. Hey, thinking about life after Skyline, I know you're a junior right now, so you've got a little bit of time left here at Skyline. What are you thinking about graduating to? What does life look like for David after Skyline?
Oh, wow. That's a really tough question. Obviously, I still have another year ahead, and junior year is still not over, so I'm still working hard, but I am also thinking about the future. Personally, I think I would like to go into some field of medicine. So after college, maybe some type of med school. Before college, right now, just working my best, keeping my grades up, doing extracurriculars while also keeping in touch with my senior friends and getting to know like what it's like to apply to colleges. And I find it very interesting. But for college, I plan on going to a four-year college and probably majoring in biology. I know that's kind of normal for pre-med major, but I find biology pretty fun. I'm learning it at Skyline. So, but again, I'm not really sure of what the future holds. Maybe I'll find a new interest, but for now, that's what my future is looking like.
Good. And I love how you talked about something that interests you. And I think that's really important to find something that you're passionate about and explore that as a career. So life after Skyline. So that's great. Hey, last thing, you're really engaged in all things Skyline, from clubs and activities to athletics. Any words of advice you would give, someone, a younger Skyline Spartan, someone who's going to come here next year as an incoming ninth grader? What advice can you give them about life at Skyline?
Yeah, life at Skyline. Skyline's just one big family. I know it's kind of scary seeing, basically adults at school to, sports players to people in all these clubs. But I'd say try new things. One of my biggest regrets, I guess, was not joining clubs sooner, and also taking high school like lightly. Obviously, it's really fun because you to meet new people, but definitely academic wise, put in the effort. Definitely make a personal connection with your teachers. I find that helps a lot more. They get to know more of you, and plus you feel more comfortable asking questions and just getting to know them. They're just all great people, and they're super caring, and they're always looking out for your best academic interest. But again, going back to my regret joining clubs sooner, I did a few clubs. I did like one club last year, and this year I started doing a lot of clubs. I find it really fun. But I do wish that maybe I could have gotten a board position or maybe a little more involvement, like leadership wise, in those clubs. But I'm so grateful to be a part of them. But for those incoming freshmen or just people at Skyline, just branch out. Maybe take a class that you never thought you'd like. For example, I took sculpture. I'm never really good with my hands, like making things, but it was so much fun to just like mess around with clay and to make like a little pot, which I found not really useful, but it holds my pens very well. But definitely like clubs, reach out. I wish I joined DECA sooner because I just like gained a lot from it, meeting different types of people. And I, talk to them for different life advice. But yeah, definitely take advantage of the huge family that Skyline has and how welcoming they are with whatever aspect it is, whether it's sports or clubs or any academic thing. Just go out and I think meet new people, make those connections, and they'll be lasting connections too. So I find that the most helpful.
Hey, Spartans, you heard it from David right there. Get involved is what he's saying through athletics, clubs, activities. It's a great way to meet people, build quality relationships with your peers and teachers. David, well said. I love the message. We want our students to get involved in all things Skyline, not just come to school every day and go to 7 periods. But we want you to be involved in everything because we are one big happy family, and it's great that we can build relationships with one another. So David, hey, thank you very much. Skyline Student Spotlight episode 6. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you soon, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Yep. See ya.